Barack Obama gave his speech today on climate change. Bah. Oh my goodness, nothing angers me more. Of course, all scientists agree that climate change is real, the temperature's rising, and it's going to be catastrophic in the future. Our kids are going to suffer. He talked about the EPA is going to put new regulations on power companies so that our rates will go up, I guess, so that there'll be less carbon being spewed into the air. Regulations and taxes, that's the answer to climate change. That's it. By the way, if you want to do something about climate change, I can give you the answer. You need to lose about 2 billion people on the planet. Why doesn't Barack just suggest we annihilate them quickly instead of doing a slow burn by stealing their economic resources, by taking away the opportunity to grow and to produce? But that aside, let's go back to what he said today. He can't agree to the Keystone Pipeline until they meet all EPA standards, which is probably never going to happen. Here's my question. Does Barack Obama himself meet EPA standards? I'd like the scientific community to answer this question for me. Is there any one single human being on the planet that can even come close to producing the carbon, to creating the mess and the pollution that Barack Obama does? With Air Force One and the entourage that travels with him everywhere he goes, I would say he has to be the number one polluter on the planet. His hot air does more to increase the temperature than anything anybody in the world can do. I actually would like to ask another question of the scientists. Let's look at his carbon footprint. Again, Air Force One, all the people, all the vehicles and jets and planes and everything that travels with him. Just in 2013, look at his carbon footprint, and I bet it would equal the lifetime of maybe thousands of Americans. I'd love that answered. And the reason I say that is because if he really wants to lead on this issue, if he really wants to have a debate with the American people, to educate us, let me tell him where to start. You should say, as president, as the number one polluter in the world, I want to lead by example. And so because of all this travel, I'm going to reduce the future travel by 20% or 10%, 1%. It'd be huge. Or he could say, you know what, I'm in charge of the government, and every little town in the country has buildings everywhere, facilities, housing government agencies and groups and people. We're going to start right there by reducing carbon emissions in all those places, by doing step A, B, and C. But see, here's the deal. He's going to throw regulations at you and me. He's going to tax you and me. He's going to cut the lifeline out for you and me, and he's not going to suffer at all. That's why what he's saying is nothing but hot air, and I think that does more for messing up our climate than anything. Mr. President, just lead for once.